So, we have a block, and it looks a little boring unless you want to make Legos. To increase realism in 3D, we're going to texture this block. I'm going to go over the Max's material system briefly and a simple rundown on how to apply textures. First, let's open up the Material Editor window, which can be found at the top right of the toolbar. It's a picture of a sphere with a chess pattern on it. When we first open it up, the default type is Slate Material Editor. 3ds Max has two distinct ways of viewing materials. There's the Slate view and the Compact view. Slate view is more for seeing everything at once and seeing how things look together. It's a bit like project-oriented. The one that we're going to like, if we go to Modes, is Compact Material Editor. This one is great if you're just making one material. Now, if this 3D scene was a painting, this material editor would be your palette. In the top, you'll see a series of spheres. These are your materials. Each material can have many properties within it. And Max can hold infinite materials even though there are only 12 or so slots here. They can be stored elsewhere. For right now, we're just going to change the texture. Within the materials is a bunch of drop-down sections. The important one we're going to focus on will be the maps. Clicking on this will expand it. Several different maps can be applied to the material to change how it affects light. Diffuse is how light is spread along a surface and reflected back. In other words, color. To the right of the diffuse line is a None button. This is a slot in Max which can be filled by different types of maps. There are two ways that I'm going to show you how to add color to this. The first is dragging and dropping, which I love to do. Let's see. This will name the map and give it a label that is the file name. So let's try that. So the first thing you do is open up a browser, and we're going to start from texture. And we're just going to drag this texture right into that block. Then we can click on it to go into this texture, into this picture. Now the menu changed. We're now inside the bitmap map. To go up a layer, the material itself, we click on this little up button. This up button is very important to remember. Similar to the modifiers, materials can keep getting stacked inside of each other. Now let's check out this Slate Material Editor. So on the top of Material Editor, go to Modes, click on Slate Material Editor. The Slate Material Editor is a new feature to 3ds Max. It allows many materials to be seen at once in a layout form of design. Other 3D programs have similar layouts. It allows for a visual representation of material linking. Multiple parts of a single material may use the same source, for example. Now let's see. Basically gives you a big idea of where everything is going. You can do all the same things in the Compact Material Editor that you can do in the Slate Material Editor. It's just a different layout. So let's go back to Compact. To clear a map, simply right-click and then clear. I'm going to show you the second way, which is not dragging and dropping. Clicking on the None button will open up a new browser. This browser can search material maps from the scene, whatnot, anywhere. We're going to go to Maps and then Standard and expand that, and we're going to choose Bitmap. If we double click on Bitmap, it'll open up a browser. Now we're going to go to the texture, and you know, we're going to open up that one, sure. Alright, and just like that, we have that texture. So, one of the problems right now is our object looks nothing like the texture in the sphere. So, back in the Material Editor window, let's click and drag this material onto the object we want to apply it to. Turn gray. Okay. This just means that our material isn't set to show itself in the view. Let's fix that by going back into the Material Editor window and clicking once on this little button. It's a bit of a checkered board. Hiding the material while working on other parts of the scene can help with performance while you're moving around the scene. In case you were wondering how to do that without dragging and dropping, you simply select your object that you want to apply material to, or many different objects, and then the third button assigns the material to the selection. And that's texturing.